This morning I had a bit of a freak out and I had no idea why. I've got a lot of appointments this week. I've got to put my car in. I had to take my daughter to the doctor. I've got a video that I'm doing tomorrow. I'm meeting a friend. I had to go to the doctor yesterday and I just got to the point today. I completely freaked out at the thought of doing all of these things. I wanted to hang out in my bed and hide. And I had no idea why. So, of course, I reached out to you guys, my fabulous ADHD community, and they came back with the most amazing thing. I was experiencing overwhelm. So that's what we're going to talk about today, friends. Overwhelm and ADHD. So, shall we get into it? Let's do it. Once I realised what it was, of course, I looked up Dr. Google, as you do, and tried to read up a little bit about it, because it was exactly what I was feeling. I was overwhelmed by having too much on my plate, and once I'd figured that out, that helped a little bit. Knowledge is power and all of that. But when I was reading these articles, I realised that there is a lot of different ways that we as ADHD people experience overwhelm. We can have too much stimulation, too many thoughts in our heads. Now that's a sign of hyperactivity. We can be overwhelmed with too much to do. We can be overwhelmed by clutter. We can be overwhelmed by logistics. So say you're going on holiday somewhere and you need to book a flight, book somewhere to stay, get a taxi to the airport, so on and so forth. That can be really overwhelming for us too. Paying bills can be overwhelming. There's so many different things that overwhelm an ADHD brain. And I was amazed by this, which I shouldn't be, because ADHD. And so I looked into it a bit further and found out that our good old buddy dopamine has a lot to answer for. So dopamine will get into our brain. And the phrase chasing the dopamine. The reason that we as ADHD people chase the dopamine is because it doesn't stay in our brain as long as it does for neurotypical people. So it goes in and we use it and it goes out. So if you want to talk about medication, some of the medication that we can take as ADHD people actually it slows down that flow of dopamine. So we benefit from it more, and we don't have that massive feeling of overwhelm all the time, because we have our dopamine receptors there that are helping us. But that's only one side of the coin, and I know there's a lot of people out there who can't or don't want to take medication. Totally fine. I have been unmedicated for pretty much all of my life. It's only recently that I have had medication to help me. So the other side of the coin are skills. What can we do to help ourselves? Skills, not pills, all of that fun thing. And I guess the biggest thing that I got from the things I read and have thought about is we really need to know ourselves and what our triggers are. And although I know I get massively stressed out when I have too many appointments, I made those appointments this week. And I obviously didn't think about how full my calendar was when I was looking at it and booking things in. Things like my car going in, I couldn't leave that any longer. My doctor's and my daughter's doctor's appointments, couldn't change them either. They had been booked in for quite a while. But I could have changed the other things that I've done. So this is where we need to know ourselves. If you get stressed by being overstimulated, be aware of that if you're going into a situation that does that to you, whether it's noise or lights, too many people, whatever. Too many thoughts, the overwhelming thoughts. Well, medication can help with that a great deal. But again, if you don't want to take medication or can't take it, then you need to find a way to deal with those thoughts. And one way that you can do that is a brain dump. So just write down everything that's in your head. It doesn't need to make any sense to anybody. It's really just releasing those thoughts from your head, putting them onto a bit of paper. Gets it out of there. Too many feelings is a hard one though, when you're overstimulated in that way. And to be honest, I'm not sure what you can do about that. Too many tasks, which is what I'm suffering with today. Usually I would try and rearrange some of them to give myself a bit of grace and a bit of breathing space, which is what my brain is screaming at just now. But that's not possible for me. So again, as I said before, I think just understanding that that is what's bothering me, not the tasks themselves, the fact that my head is like, too much. And I know I just need to get through this week and I need to be calm about it. So perhaps for me in this situation, a little bit of meditation could be quite good, or journaling, again, a bit of a brain dump. Why am I stressed? Get to know myself better. A lot of us suffer from clutter, too much stuff, and that can be, a real issue for some people. Get some help if you can. Don't feel ashamed about it. Ask a friend, a trusted friend or family member if they can come and help you. If that's not possible, then just tackle a little tiny bit at a time. Last week I dealt with the clutter on my kitchen counter, and I've been managing to stay on top of that for a week, and I'm really proud of that. So I am going to do another small area and then another small area, and it will build on itself. But if you're really struggling with that, ask somebody to help you. And if you've got the money and the ability, you can get a professional organiser in, and they can really not just help you clear the clutter, but help you design a way for your house to function better for you, which could be a long-term investment for you and your family. Too many logistics. So this is where I was mentioning about holidays or something like that, where you actually have to plan a lot of things. I would say that just has to be step by step. Start with the first thing, then break it down. So as I said, if you were wanting to go on holiday, where are you going to go? Can you book a flight or travel? Can you book accommodation? And take it step by step by step, and give yourself a break in between if you have to. If all you do one day is book your flight or book your accommodation, you've done a great job. Don't overstimulate yourself, which is what we're talking about, overstimulating yourself. Get to know your limits and understand where, again, where your trigger points are and what you can do to help yourself. And again, as ADHDers, our brains don't work the way neurotypical brains work. We need to learn these skills for ourselves and figure out how to do it. If you've got a psychologist or a therapist, they might be helping you figure that out. If not, reach out to your ADHD community. There's loads of groups on Facebook, and I actually think that speaking to other people who experience what you experience is really one of the best therapies you can give yourself as a gift, because it stops you feeling so different. You can ask your friends, but if they don't have the same condition as you, they're not going to understand why this is an issue or bothering you or overwhelming you. So yeah, I'd say definitely find yourself a community, and don't look at it as a personal failing. It's who we are. It's the way our brains are wired. We can learn what to do, but we can't stop it happening. We can learn to see it coming, but without doing something about it, we can't stop it happening. So the takeaway from that is probably give yourself a bit of grace. Let yourself understand that it is what it is. So anyway, I hope this helps you if you feel a bit of overwhelm. Like I say, the overwhelming things can be stimulus, so noise, lights, people, thoughts, feelings, tasks, big one for tasks here, clutter, and organisational things. There might be more than that. That's just the ones I've picked up on in my reading today. So yes, I'd love to know if you get overwhelmed, what you do about it, how you cope, what overwhelms you. Are there other things that I've not actually mentioned? And all of this helps everybody else. You know, we're not in it alone, so let's support each other and make this a fantastic community. Anyway, guys, that's really all I've got to say today, so I'm going to go and take a few deep breaths and deal with my overwhelm. Speak to you soon, guys. Remember to hit the like and the thumbs up, and let your friends know if you find this useful. Bye bye.